Happening now, a man is behind bars following an alleged armed robbery in Falconer, the latest. Plus, what our local senator has to say about the state's eviction moratorium extension here in New York.
Well, if you like the fall season, we've got a taste of it through the next couple of days. We'll talk about where the temperatures are headed, plus any rain coming up next as the News at Noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
A 31-year-old man is behind bars following an early morning armed robbery in Falconer. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Town of Ellicott police say the alleged incident happened around 5:18 this morning at a residence on East Everett Street. Following an investigation, it's alleged that Robert Arguelles robbed a man at knife point, taking his wallet, which police say had $300 inside. Officers say that Arguelles fled the scene prior to their arrival but was located nearby. He's charged with 5th-degree robbery and 2nd-degree menacing. Police report that Arguelles was then taken to Chautauqua County Jail. Well, Jamestown's voice in New York State Senate is speaking out about last night's eviction moratorium extension, saying the move is hurting good renters. The Democratic-led legislator voted to extend the eviction and foreclosure freeze for commercial and residential tenants who fell behind on their rent because of hardship caused by the pandemic. Governor Kathy Hochul on Tuesday called the legislature back to Albany for this extraordinary session to pass the legislation, which will now put evictions on hold until January 15th. Now, under the legislation, courts will be able to look up whether a tenant has applied for assistance, and landlords will be able to seek proceedings against them who are, quote, a nuisance or has inflicted substantial damage to their property. Senator George Borrello and Assemblyman Andy Goodell, who both represent Chautauqua County, voted against the measure. In the end, Borrello tells us this is only going to hurt good tenants who actually pay their rent.
It's the people who rent that will suffer the most because there will be less choices. There'll be less availability, which we already have a problem with prior to the pandemic here in Western New York and throughout upstate New York. Like I said, we're going to relegate people to two choices. Either you can afford to own your own home and maintain it, or you're going to be living in some kind of a government-run situation.
The U.S. Supreme Court last week nixed part of the moratorium that allowed tenants to pause eviction proceedings. The state's previous moratorium included foreclosure protections for property owners, also previously expired Tuesday. Well, as kids return to school, we're seeing some parents speak out about masking requirements. Many people still asking why they're needed. Mike Ruzzi with our news partner WNY News Now recently sat down with Dr. Tina Tan, professor of pediatrics and infectious diseases at Northwestern University School of Medicine, to discuss this great mask debate.
To mask or not to mask, indoors and in schools, is a topic of much debate.
And there definitely needs to be protocols in place so that if somebody tests positive or somebody is symptomatic, everybody knows what to do.
Northwestern University's Dr. Tina Tan has a crystal clear message on the issue and how classrooms should be handled.
I hear that people say, oh, well, there's an increase in carbon dioxide levels and it makes kids, short of breath, etc. But there are absolutely no scientific studies to show that you have any increase in carbon dioxide levels or any detrimental effect from wearing a cloth mask all day long.
Dr. Tan is a fan of in-person schooling.
We saw this last year that learning virtually really does not work for many children. And many children have actually lost a year of school because they just don't learn well virtually. Many children rely on the lunch programs there to get food because there are many kids that really suffer from hunger. There are also other services that are provided by schools, such as speech therapy, hearing.
Mike Ruzzi reporting. Mike, thank you. There are ongoing trials testing vaccines in those under the age of 12. Dr. Tan says that the data should be available by the middle of the fall. Well, speaking of back to school, students returned to school yesterday here in Jamestown, and parents are celebrating with those annual back to school photos. This is Benji. He entered 5th grade at Jefferson Middle School. He and his family had a pretty awesome ride into school on the first day, a motorcycle. Feel free to share your photos with us online now. For more, check out our Back to School photo showcase posted at WNYNewsNow.com. Certainly great to see you back, Benji. Let us know what you guys think about this and more in the comment section down below. We love to hear from you. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Great to see Wendy. Good to see Aaron, Butch, Rory, Cassie, and David. Hopefully you all are having a great day and maybe enjoying this break from the heat if that's your thing. Although I know a couple people out there who are a little sad today, Dakota, because it is fall-like, but no complaints from me.
No, I mean, I'm not complaining either. I mean, we've had so much, and it really hasn't been so much the temperature is the problem over the summer. It's just been the humidity. It's been a really humid summer, and I'm for one, I'm not complaining. I prefer the cooler weather. Not cold, cooler. Notes the difference in the two words. Live look over the Randolph Peaches and Cream Sky Cam. Not really a cloud in the sky here, just blue sunshine. But it is chilly. Temperatures in the lower 60s across much of the region today. And the reason for that has to do with a north to northwest wind component that's not really going to warm us up. So that north to northwest wind is going to keep bringing in that cooler air. And that's really going to be the dominant weather player through at least the next couple of days. And the satellite and radar picture shows you that nary a clouds showing up here in this animation. It is running in a loop. There's just nothing going on. And so it's just going to be a nice day today. Get out and enjoy it, but it will be chilly. So if you're not a fan of the cooler air, you may need a sweater. We only managed 68 yesterday. The average is 77 for this day. So it's pretty much below average, but hey, I'm not complaining. 55 is where we started the day. 98 and 59 are the record highs and lows for today. So through the afternoon, what a looker. Get out and soak up the sun, Shower Crow. A couple clouds may move in inland today. Otherwise cool, 66 to 72 with a northwest wind. Now we keep the cool air going for tomorrow, but we do see some rain in the forecast as we head into Labor Day and parts of next week. We'll talk about it with that 7-day later in the show. Justin?
All right, Dakota, I know everyone's going to be watching that forecast, so we'll see you back here in 10 minutes. 4 area fire departments will soon receive federal funding for new gear and training. U.S. Senators Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand announced yesterday that over $11,000 in FEMA funding will be allocated to 90 different departments across New York State. Here locally, the Kyantone Fire Department will receive $108,000, the Village of Fredonia $220,000, Frewsburg Fire Company $108,000, and Forestville's Fire Department $34,000. The senators say the funds can be used to pay for things like additional training, supplies, and/or buy protective gear. Well, a summer-long bridge replacement is now complete, reopening a popular thoroughfare in the town of Busti. The Chautauqua County Department of Public Facilities saying Southwestern Drive reopened yesterday after crews completed a bridge replacement project. The work lasted around 2 months, with the existing culvert replaced due to some structural deficiencies and substandard hydric capacity. Officials say the replacement will bring the bridge's life to beyond 75 years. Well, starting next week, 558,000 Pennsylvanians will no longer receive an extra $300 a week in federal funding. That's because the regular unemployment will be back. Those receiving benefits must continue to complete work search requirements, which resumed back in July. According to the Concept's president, those requirements are working. In fact, job placement agencies are seeing more people getting back to work since those were reinstated, but there are still 736 open jobs right now, which is close to a record high. They expect that number to drop once additional payments end.
We're seeing an uptick in activity. I think in general people are ready to get back to work. I think there's people are on the whole feeling it's time and it's safe. Anyway, we're seeing it on our end.
The Biden administration says states can choose to redirect other federal funds to extend their jobless benefits beyond next week, but so far no states have announced plans to do that. Coming up, when New York's AG will release more info on the investigation into former Governor Cuomo. We'll let you know the latest there. And later, raising awareness about childhood cancer in Jamestown. What locals are doing. Stay Stay with us as WNY News Now continues on this sunny, albeit a little cool, Thursday afternoon.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Located along the Amish Trail, the Randolph Retail Company offers a variety of clothing, jewelry, and gifts for any occasion. Offering uptown merchandise at small-town prices, our locally owned business balances quality and value. With complimentary gift wrap here at the Randolph Retail Company, we pride ourselves in personal service. Check out our Facebook page or stop in today at 127 Main Street, Randolph, just a 20-minute drive from Jamestown.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
New York Attorney General Letitia James plans on releasing transcripts from the 4-month-long investigation into former Governor Andrew Cuomo, including one from Cuomo himself. This comes as the AG's finding on sexual misconduct led to his resignation last month. She says she has planned on releasing the documents soon after giving the report, but paused it at the request of local district attorneys who are looking into other inquiries of inappropriate behavior involving Cuomo. The former governor has denied any wrongdoing, saying James's report left out evidence that undermined some of the women's claims. The AG gave the news yesterday at the New York State Fair, deflecting questions on whether she would plan to run for governor in 2022. Well, New York State Senate has confirmed the first 2 nominees of Governor Kathy Hochul's administration who will help move the cannabis implementation process forward. Timurine Wright will serve as the chair of New York's Cannabis Control Board, while Christopher Alexander will take on the role of executive director of the Office of Cannabis Management. The 2 departments will create and implement a framework for New York's marijuana industry, including production, licensing, marketing, and sales of cannabis products. Governor Hochul says getting New York's cannabis industry up and running is one of her top priorities, as she believed it is long overdue. She's hoping that Wright and Alexander will help make up for lost time. The Marijuana Regulation and Taxation Act was passed earlier this year, focusing on the regulation of the adult use medical and hemp industries. Well, tornadoes, flash flooding, water rescues, the Northeast getting hammered by what's left with Ida, which hit the U.S. as a Category 4 hurricane in Louisiana Sunday. Since then, it's plummeted its way across the southeast up the coast, causing massive damage and breaking records along the way, triggering states of emergencies in multiple cities and states, including New York. Britt Conway has a look at what happened overnight and now what's to come.
The remnants of Ida slamming the Northeast.
Mother Nature will do whatever she wants, and she is really angry tonight.
The streets of New York City look like rivers in Harlem, in Queens.
I'm very, very worried about what's happening out on the roads.
Below ground, too, the subways are inundated. So are a number of homes. This was the first flash flood emergency ever issued by the National Weather Service for New York City. In New Jersey,
I've never witnessed something like this before in my life.
This is in Mullica Hill. You can see debris twisting up in a tornado. Multiple homes were damaged, some destroyed.
It's like a war zone. There's the one house over there, there's nothing left of it.
In Newark, after the all-time wettest day on record, cars are underwater. In this family's basement in Maplewood, furniture is stacked up as toys float by. In Passaic, water rescue teams had to be called out.
We have too many areas where the flooding has gotten so bad that cars are stuck and we have bodies underwater. We are now retrieving bodies.
This is in Connecticut. Look at this highway. Bridgeport police warned people to stay off the roads, reporting a dozen cars underwater. Ida inundating the Northeast, and she's not done yet. I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Britt, thank you. Ida continues to move northeast. Flash flooding potentially expected in other major metros as well, like Providence and Boston. Well, new regulations for deer and bear hunters are now in effect here in New York State. The state's Department of Environmental Conservation announcing that news. The agency says the rules change extend hunting hours and dress codes, which will improve hunter safety. DEC's commissioner explaining that those changes bring the state in line with other common practices of other governments across North America. The agency first announced the proposed changes back in June. A full list of the adapted regulations posted online at dec.ny.gov. Certainly a lot of people getting ready for a hunting season. It's almost here. It feels like fall out there now. Thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comment section down below. We always love to hear from you. And while I have your ear, going to remind you, you can check us out on your television, downloading the Channel 716 app on your Roku players. Just simply search Channel 716. Add it to your lineup today. We'd love to see you and have you a part of that family. And of course, we'll still be streaming live here on Facebook and our WNY News Now streaming network online. It's great to see Wendy. Good to see Judy, David, Pam. Wendy chiming in. She's like, that's some crazy video. Yeah, our hearts are out with the folks downstate, Dakota, because they really did have some nasty, nasty flooding. And I think it just goes to show you how much a tropical storm, a tropical moisture can deluge onto an area. You think about it, we get rainstorms, heavy rain, but I mean, that was torrential.
Yeah, and I mean, we talk about it all the time, how tropical rain tends to be heavier in nature. And then plus this thing too was continuing to pull in Gulf moisture as, even after it made landfall. So there was still a lot of moisture that was being pulled into the system. And it just ultimately just dumped it all across the Northeast as the storm actually became subtropical. But again, the names and whatnot, tropical storm, hurricanes, it doesn't matter at that point when you're dealing with a high flash flooding risk and a lot of rainfall. We'll talk about the rainfall totals here in just a minute. I put a graphic in my show talking about that.
Yeah, really, really is. Thankfully, though, we don't have that here. Although we were talking on our drive home yesterday, actually, Dakota and I carpooled, that there was a dam in PA, right, that was threatened as well. And they issued what is an unprecedented flash flood emergency? Yeah.
Yes. There's a higher level of a flash flood warning. It's called a flash flood emergency, and it was declared in New York City as well. And the flash flood emergency is reserved for life-threatening catastrophic flash flooding events. And there was 2 in New York City, 1 from Ida, and then down in Pennsylvania, the Weather Service and State College issued a flash flood emergency because of the dam failure. So very rare to see that issued.
Yeah, absolutely. Luckily here today, though, sunshine, cooler temperatures, it's not bad out there.
Yeah, it's actually not bad if you like the cooler air. Let's get right into it. And wanted to talk about the September extremes, the extreme weather in September. Now, since we are into the second day of September here, the coolest day ever happened on the 30th in 1899. I wasn't doing the weather then. Justin was doing the news, but I wasn't doing the weather. 43 was the high temperature on that day. 98 on this day in 1953 was the hottest day ever through the month of September. Most amount of rain we had in the month was 1938, where we had over 9 inches, speaking of which of rain. And believe it or not, we've had snow before. In September, we've had 2 inches.
No,
yes,
really?
2 inches in 1899, which also corresponds with that coldest day ever on the 30th. There was 2 inches of snow on the ground in 1899.
Wow.
Can you believe that? So yeah, it has snowed in September before, but it hasn't happened in a long time. Hey, if you have a tee time this afternoon, late season golfing, this is right around the perfect time to golf because it's lower humidity, cooler, but notice the wind. That'll be an issue. North to northwest around 10 to 15 miles an hour through the afternoon, but lots of sunshine out there, so get out and enjoy the outdoors. If you have a tee time, it'll be great for that. No clouds downtown from the HD News Now cam, just bright sunshine downtown right now. We're at 63. Wind not an issue, and look at that dew point, well into the 40s. So that dew point factor, not an issue. We don't have a heat index that we're contending with today, so it's all around a nice late summer, early fall day. All right, let's talk about the next thing we're keeping an eye on, which, as I just told you, that fall air is going to continue through at least the next several days. There is no temperature on this graph over the next 5 days in the 80s. Actually, come to think of it, there's no temperature in the upper 70s. Come to think of it. So it's really going to be a nice stretch of cool weather. So if you like the cooler air, you're welcome. So we have a big dome of high pressure. This is just basically cleared out basically much of the Northeast. So it's mainly clear right now. Lots of sunny skies. This is what's left of Ida right here. And we still do have a flash flood warning in effect for parts of New England. And in terms of the rainfall here, we've had a lot of rainfall across portions of New York City. Of course, Justin just talked about it. These are the 24-hour estimated rainfall totals. Look at this, over 10 inches in portions of New Jersey, 7.5 inches around New York City, 4.7 south of Boston. And then once you go further to the west, only a measly 0.02 of an inch. So yeah, you can see where that swath of heavier rain was actually kept yesterday from the remnants of Ida. So lots of heavy rain out there, but around here, no rain to speak of. Future scan, it's running but not showing you anything. So it'll be a nice day. We will see some clouds move in overnight. Those showers are not going to materialize overnight, so don't worry about that. But we will see a few clouds overnight tonight. Tomorrow, this has been a common thing with the models we've looked at. It does try to spark up a couple isolated showers near the Lake Erie shoreline tomorrow afternoon. Wouldn't, again, maybe a possibility, so we'll put it in the forecast, but we have a 10% chance of rain for tomorrow. And again, that's in area, so the best chance for that spotty shower is going to be right near the Lake Erie shoreline. Otherwise, the area is going to be rain-free with a good amount of sunshine to go around. So the zone forecast, the inland areas, we're likely looking at maybe lower, upper 60s. We'll do it today. Another coolish day, but sunshine abode, so it'll make you feel a little warmer. The next 7 days of your life are right on the screen. So again, we do put in that chance for a little bit of a spotty shower near the Lake Erie shoreline tomorrow. Turns milder Saturday. Then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we do have a chance for at least a few isolated showers, but neither of those days are a washout with temperatures rather cool into the lower 70s. We'll take a break, be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
It's not just what we say, it's what we do.
Local first. It isn't just our slogan. It's our mindset every single day. So whether you're watching our daily live streams or staying up to date with reports on our website and mobile app, you'll always see the same attention to detail from reporters who passionately care about our community, who have one goal in mind: to always put the facts first.
For me, it's more than just getting the forecast right. What I love the most about my job is that I come into work every day to help break down the weather letting people know how this is going to impact their day. We take pride that First Defense Weather is the only local weather team in the Southern Tier. We don't just copy and paste our weather from outside sources. Every part of our forecast is handmade right here in-house, something our team really takes pride in.
What matters to you matters to us. Every story, every day. WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
The Jamestown community is coming together, recognizing September as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, highlighting the importance of finding a cure to the often deadly disease. Municipal leaders raised a flag over City Hall yesterday with hopes of bringing cancer awareness, an illness that often impacts 1 to 2 children out of 10,000 each year in the U.S. Prior to that flag raising, both survivors and those currently fighting some form of childhood cancer spoke out, including Falconer native and childhood cancer survivor Sydney Criscanco. Criscanco, who walked to the podium on crutches, explained that once cancer's over, it doesn't stop. At age 21, she'll likely need a knee replacement due to side effects of her treatment.
Because I was on steroids for 2 years to counteract the cancer treatment, all of the bone in my knee was dead. There was no blood flow able to go through my knee, and the result would be I needed a surgery to take out all of that dead bone and replace it with bone grafts. I just had that done at the end of July, and unfortunately it's not working all that well.
She says she's one of the lucky ones when some children, often so young, die from their illness. An event to raise money to help local kids and their families struggling with cancer is scheduled to take place this coming Labor Day. Hosted by community group Callie's Crusade, the fundraising event is happening Monday from 9 to 2 at the Bemis Point Golf Club, featuring a motorcycle ride, run and walk, cornhole tournaments, and more. Now, that group was founded in memory of 21-month-old Jamestown resident Callie Swan, who passed away from acute lymphoblastic leukemia. That organization pledges to fight like a girl against pediatric cancer. And we certainly support them and what they do. And yesterday, it's so powerful to hear directly from these kids who have to act like adults. They have to fight like an adult for such a debilitating disease. And I remember Callie's story so well. I was actually my first job as a young news reporter in Jamestown when I worked for 106.9 KISS FM, was to cover her homecoming when they learned that there was no more treatment for Callie and likely she would pass away, which is indeed what happened. And I remember that homecoming day where she came back from Buffalo with her mom and her dad, and the community really rallied in a procession from the 90 in Dunkirk all the way to home here in Jamestown. And you look at the orange lights that they distributed, part of their fundraising campaign. You know, you can buy merch and gear, and part of that was having a light on your front porch, and I still see those around Jamestown, around Falconer. And I think that shows you how our community can stick with something for so long. It's really a blessing to be able to have.
Well, I mean, you know, cancer in itself is just absolutely horrible, but I think kids have it worse because, you know, when you're a kid, you're supposed to go out, enjoy your youth, and have fun. No kid should have to be dealing with cancer or any of that stuff.
Yeah. So if you can, please, you know, check out their event come Monday. If you're looking for something to do, outdoor environment, you know, certainly safe. I know a lot of people are still concerned with COVID, but definitely worthwhile if you can check it out. And our thoughts and prayers are going to be with those kids, with their families, and that's the biggest thing you saw yesterday at that event was the families who were there, who saw this flag raising as a symbol of saying, hey, don't forget about us through this time where we have forgotten about something. That's it for us today. News continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. Have a great day.